everybody, and welcome to day 5 of the Great Shed Organization. In case I look grungy today, it is because I am. I've got some, what is this? Yes, paint. I'm going to be doing some painting this morning. This is white, right? The stool is white. You can't see that from the camera, but trust me, the stool I'm sitting on is white. I want these to be white as well. I'm not going to paint this whole of the computer desk, just the top and the sides. You know, I'll probably paint all of this. I'll probably paint the inside of the legs anyway. And I may even do something decorative with a desktop. We'll see later. But that's one thing. One of my goals for today is, you know, just to make things look nicer. You know, it kind of looks weird because this is white and this is one color wood and this is another color wood. All right. And then there's something else. And it goes back to, I'm sure I addressed this on a video about decluttering a couple of years, several years ago it would have been. But, you know, imagine a tornado blew through your area, or a fire, your house was on fire. What things would you really, really want to save? And those are really only the things that you should have in your house. That really gets you minimal, all right, instead of hoarding up all this junk just in case. And you know, I mentioned on a video a couple days ago my problem with throwing things away. Growing up in Minnesota and being in high school and college in Minnesota, I got environmentalism pretty much shoved down my throat, and I've come to the, you know, I became, you know, once I became a homeowner, I felt more and more guilty about throwing things away because I remembered what I learned about the landfills and how, you know, we're going to run out of our, you know, the whole earth will be a giant landfill if we keep throwing things away. And so I have felt guilty about throwing things away. But I am telling you, my viewers today, I am determining, I am right now at the age of almost 48, I am going to get rid of that guilt that I've hung on to for probably at least 30 years now. I am getting rid of the guilt of throwing things away. Of course, I'm going to recycle what can be recycled, but if I got to throw something away, I'm going to throw it away. Besides painting, this vlog is going to show me doing even more decluttering in the Tuff Shed. I know there's things in the storage shed we really need to go, but I'm focusing on the Tuff Shed in this, and I'm going to make this my final vlog about the Great Shed Reorganization. I think this will be it. I may have to stretch it out to 2 days, but today's the last warm day for several days. So, painting, and I'm just going to say, okay, this is going to Goodwill, this needs to be trashed, this needs to be recycled. I'm just going to forget it. I'm done hoarding up stuff just in case. Everybody give me a big round of applause. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, let's get to the painting. so I'm calling this done. Yes, it doesn't look totally white, but that's okay with me. I kind of like the distressed look. And like I said, we have some red paint that needs to be used up, so I'm thinking about maybe doing some polka dots or something like that. I don't know, at a later date. But right now, I am going to go back in the main house for a little while. Let the paint smell air out for a bit. Then I'm going to come back and start doing some super decluttering. So it's much later now. It's between 3 and 3:30 in the afternoon, and it was before 10 o'clock in the morning the last time you saw me when I was finishing up the painting. Yeah, and it's dark and cloudy outside, so it might be kind of dim in here. I just have this one lamp now. So I wasn't going to do anything else today because I just started to feel really lazy, but I do want to go ahead and do a couple more things, and I'm going to show you those couple of areas. The one is down here between the wall and the desk. There are several unopened, either actual artist canvases like this, because Jerry painted when he was in high school, and he just saved these for gazillions of years. He's not that old. And then, well, it's not there, but there's some canvas board for painting that when I was pregnant, we had signed up for an art class through the Plano Park and Rec department, and I got to be feeling so sick that I didn't want to do it. Well, we had already bought all the supplies, so, but it's been how many years now? I mean, Benjamin's 11, so it's been 11 years since we bought those, and I don't know, has Jerry had he may have had these since high school, college, I don't know, not being used, and maybe one day he'll paint again, and if he decides to, he can buy canvases then. In the meantime, I'm done storing all this stuff. All right, and yes, I do. We did talk. I do have permission, you know, so I'm not going behind his back or anything. So the other things I should say, I want to go through these bags and see if there are any that are worthy of giving to the Goodwill. This one would be. This is the company my husband used to work for. This is a good bag. And see, there's this is a good bag and that's a good bag, so I don't want to get rid of it, but you know, like we're never using it. And also there's a box of stuff under here that I don't know if we really need to keep anything in that box. I don't know. So I'm going to go through that stuff right now, spend a few minutes, and see if I can add to the Goodwill pile over there. So in one of the bags, actually I think it was an Erickson bag, I discovered these two bags, which guess what? Shopping bags, da-da-da. I've had one of my canvas shopping bags, a big one, had the handles break, so I can use these until these break, right? And then I'm going to, well, this one would be biodegradable. I don't know about, and that one's not, but anyway, at least this one could be like mulch in the garden. But I did decide to go ahead and give the Erickson bag to Goodwill. I have added it to the Goodwill pile right there. It's dark over here, sorry, dark corner. There's also this old backpack I got from being a part of some sort of project when I was a teacher. Used to use it for Benjamin a little bit, but he's got a much better one now. And look at all the artist stuff here. And then these canvases here. So there we go. The Goodwill pile just grew a little bit. I wanted to show you that right now because we may go actually drop all this stuff off at the Goodwill tomorrow. And I'll be working on that box I told you about over here another day. That box right down there. But right now I just don't feel like going. It's cold outside right now. The temperature is quickly dropping. It's dropped, I don't know how many it has. It will have dropped 30 degrees in probably in about a 2-hour span of period within the next hour or so. That's how quickly it's dropping. So I don't want to go back out to the storage shed and get a bag of for more garbage. So I'm done for now. Alright, this is the trunk of Jerry's car, packed full mostly of stuff going to the Goodwill. It looks like there's also a recycle bag. I think a bag of recycle stuff. So this is all stuff that came off of that couch/bed platform in the Tuff Shed. And then there there are two big, not huge, but decent-sized boxes of glass. Oh, and there's one down there too. So there's actually 3 boxes of glass jars. Now, 2 of these boxes actually came from up in the Tuff Shed loft, not from the shelves down below, you know, on the first floor of the Tuff Shed. But I just wanted to show you, today we are going to do some recycling and donating to Goodwill. This box is full of smart pots. Smart pots are gardening things. Gardening things go in the storage shed. Bye-bye, huge box taking up a lot of space. Alright, everybody. Yes, I'm so excited. Indeed, I'm so excited because guess what? I'm sure you could guess. I got the Tuff Shed done. Come on inside with me and let's check it out. Ta-da! Looks totally different. Not totally from maybe the last time you saw it, but looks a lot different. Prettier. Doesn't it? Way better. Look at all the open space now that the Home Depot shelf is gone. And I don't mean to keep promoting Home Depot. I mean Home Depot, Lowe's, who cares? It's just that we bought those shelves from Home Depot, like I said in an earlier video. Anyway, here it is. My tiny house. Now, if this were really my tiny house over here instead of my bike and the thing of paper, I would have a chest freezer. I would have a medium-sized chest freezer and then a really small chest freezer, which I would use as a refrigerator right in this space. And this is an old t-shirt. It is too worn to wear really anymore or to give away, you know, to donate. But it's still pretty. It's got a pretty design. So I said, well, why don't I put it over there and kind of cover up what's behind the shelves. But there's really nothing behind those shelves. If this were a tiny house, I would keep my dishes here. I would hang pots and pans and big utensils I needed from hooks that I would put into these rafters. Wouldn't that be clever? Yeah, I might have a cabinet up on the wall. I'm not sure. Anyway, so what's this for? Well, it's pretty for one thing. For another thing, yeah, this table, this desk, I should say, is varnished. And indeed, I already have like 3 little spots where the paint is already chipped off. So I'm glad I didn't try to paint the whole thing. So there are 2 purposes for this fabric remnant being here. Number 1, the first time I ran this is the Vitamix base. And I'm not promoting Vitamix. This is just the super high-powered blender that I have. Alright, I'm not getting paid to promote Vitamix. But the first time I ran it, after I had painted the desk, well, it left black marks on the paint. I was like, that's nice. So there, I had another different fabric remnant just kind of hanging around. I grabbed that, set the Vitamix base on top of it to prevent that. And also, I always keep the Vitamix base covered with something to keep it from getting dusty. And what was covering it before, I think you saw it in another clip, was just an old brown, you know, something. It, you know, not very attractive. So I thought, you know, so I found this. I thought, well, why don't I you know, decorate the desk a little bit and then kind of protect the paint. And then it could protect the paint with the base here. And then I could use a matching smaller remnant that I also had. I mean, it was already cut up. I didn't cut it up, but I had used it for something else. So there we go. Let me back up so you can get a good look at the computer desk and the stool. And if I were actually using this as a tiny house, I would underneath I would store books and office supplies. On top, I would have a butane burner that would live under here most of the time, and I would pull it forward when I needed to use it. These are my two speakers for when I want to listen to music or a podcast, to put on my MP3 player and plug in my MP3 player and listen to it that way. So there we go. I don't know what else to do with these, so that's why these are here. They're not particularly ugly, so there they are. Yeah, and also, so check this out. Yeah, makes it a lot nicer. I mean, you can see through it, obviously, but it's still a lot nicer than just looking at that, right? So what I did, I showed you that I had this giant box back there that brought the plastic shelf forward. You know, the width was at least twice what it is now, and it was full of Smart Pots. So, you know, I took that out, and I'll show you what I did with the bags that were sitting on top of it. But after I got rid of all that stuff behind it, I was able to push back, and then the curtain could hang really nicely from this rafter right here. And check it out. I've made up the couch/bed, so that actually looks nice and decorative. And again, nothing changed over here. This was from my redo that I did a couple months ago. And I don't know if you noticed on the floor before, but there were big splotches of black paint. And I thought it was waterproofing before, but it turned out to be just black paint. There was also a little bit of red paint and white paint from when the red paint from when we painted Benjamin's table in the main house, and white paint from when I painted these things, the shelf and the desk. So I cleaned that all up with baking soda and water and orange oil, you know, depending on, you know, the orange oil was for the particularly rough spots. I'll keep this folded up, my camera tripod when not in use. I actually eliminated an entire shelf full of jars, and the reason there are more jars on the bottom shelf is that up in the Tuff Shed loft there were I think there were 2 boxes full of jars. I was just going to keep just in case. But I decided, no, I'm not going to do that. We need the room, the Tuff Shed loft doesn't need to be crammed full either. So the few jars that are down here are they're smaller jars that I really wanted to keep. So I actually eliminated like 2 really full boxes of jars. So I mean from here, not including the 2 boxes that were already up in the Tuff Shed loft. All right, so here you see the 2 of the computer bags, and the other computer bag. I think it's a computer bag. Anyway, it's a bag. It has like travel, like maps and things in it that's supposed to be in Jerry's car, so I went and put it in Jerry's car. And the purple backpack is behind the curtain, which I just did not get in the right place, so I might as well show you. So there it is. So the purple backpack is there on the shelf. And I'll stick the curtain back how it goes. There we go. Anyway, but if I were living in if this were my tiny house, this cupboard would be for probably clothes. No, I don't know, I'm not sure. I would have, maybe my clothes would be on this shelf, I don't know, in totes or something, in baskets, and over here I would have dry goods, food and things like that. So, and behind the curtain I would have maybe buckets of nuts and seeds and things like that. But, I'm not really living here, so this is how it is right now. But I don't know about you, but I'm giving myself a big pat on the back because I'm just so impressed with what I've done. It looks so much better. It does. I mean, can you agree with me that this does actually now look like a cozy tiny house. Sort of looks like a tiny house, but it definitely looks a lot cozier and homier than it did previously. So there you go. I hope this video has inspired you to do some decluttering and rearranging to make your home, even your shed, look like a much nicer place and more organized and easier to get around and find things. So if you found this video or this whole series of videos helpful or inspirational, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Also, I will be, in a few days probably, I'll be, well, I shouldn't say that because it's about to get really cold again. In the next week or two, I'm going to be putting up a video that's just a before and after without all the steps that I've been vlogging the last week or so. But I will be putting up a before and so you can see all the mess that both the sheds were before and what they look like now. So be looking for that. Again, thanks for watching, and I will see you for the next video. Until then, take care and be well.